Hello, everyone. We are live here with my trainer, Ian. He's on this side.
Hello.
Today, I have a very exciting guided workout that I wanted to share with you. This is the workout that I do with my trainer every single week. And I wanted to share it with you because of how impactful it's been in my life and changing ailments that I have. Some of the things that I've been working through are my tense shoulders. I wasn't apparently activating my traps with things. So, hunching over at a desk all day, just my shoulders would get super cramped. So, that's something that we worked through. I no longer have shoulder pain. It's a miracle. And then my sciatica, again, sitting at a desk all day, my hips just ached all the time. And now I don't have that anymore. So that's what I want to share with you today. The magical, mystical things that my trainers are able to do over a Zoom call that you can do here with me right now. So, Ian, I will let you take it away. Tell me
All right.
what you
Amazing. Well, before we get started, Jordan, today, let's just have a quick chat with how you're feeling today. How's your energy feel and how is your body feeling?
do. Energy feels good. I drove to LA on Tuesday, so my hips are a little tight, but over overall, I'm like good, high energy, high levels of motivation to be able to do things.
Okay, perfect. I think then with that in mind, since you did spend a good amount of time in the car sitting, let's actually have you start by standing today. We'll work through your standing series that I had in your training plan for this month, just as a way to get the glutes, the legs active, the stomach turned on, release the low back, and just start to work through your hip tightness a little bit. So I'm going to have you start with your heels together, toes apart in your V stance. Good. You can place your hands right over your navel and your belly button and just give a very gentle scoop in and up to engage the core lightly. And as if a stiff wind were blowing at you from behind, just kind of feel your center of gravity rock forward into the balls of your feet. Your heels just gain ever so slightly lighter in the weight pressed down in them. And while still squeezing your heels together, you're going to lift up into the air on your toes. And with control, lower back down, keeping the weight forward in the balls of the feet before you lift back up. We're just going to do this about 10 times. This exercise isn't about the range of motion you do. It's not about getting as high up as you can. I know for a fact you're able to get up higher than that if you really wanted to. But if you were to do that, you would be leaving your alignment throughout your entire posture. Posture starting all the way at the top of the head and goes all the way down through the feet. And you would also be leaving your power source, which right now is actually that squeeze of the heels. That's what's kind of igniting and powering you through this movement and giving you good control. You're using both a combination of strength and balance all at the same time. That's looking really good. Now have you lift up and hold on your toes, keeping those heels together. Keep the heels lifted as you bend your knees a couple of inches. Good. Just lift your collarbones a little bit more. Yeah. And now lower the heels with bent knees and strain your legs. So did you feel on that as you started to lower your heels, your legs started to strain just a little prematurely? On this next one, I want you to do it again, but try and keep everything separate, each motion. Yep, you'll bend, you'll lower, and then you'll strain. Really good adjustment. Let's do that 3 more times, and then you're going to reverse this movement pattern. Yeah, finding the glutes, using the stomach to stabilize. And we're just very gently opening your hips here with a little bit of this opening motion.
I lost count.
2 more.
Okay, thank you.
The number doesn't matter. All that matters is the effort you feel.
I definitely feel like the activation where it should be more than I used to be able to.
Yeah, and so much of working out, while I talk, you can reverse this. So you're going to bend the knees, lift, straighten, and lower down. Yeah, so much of when we're working out, it's about unlocking the strength that we already have inside our bodies. It's why we're able to get such quick results, is because I'm, as much as I would like to say I'm a magician, I'm not. I'm just taking what's already in you and I'm just turning the key and I'm unlocking it for you. And then, of course, over many weeks and many months and many sessions, and you continuing to do your self workouts, you then get stronger from there. But really, I'm just telling you how to actually use your body the way it was designed to be used, which is pretty damn cool. One more.
Cool.
Yeah, good recovery. Really nice. Okay, now you're going to take your legs, go into kind of like a wide standing split here, toes facing out, heels in. And I want you to feel as if your hips are rotating open, as if this feeling of your kneecaps trying to pull away from each other. The glutes are really going to turn on here with this posture. Good. Now let's take your arms out to the side. Try and reach and touch the side walls of your garage here. And then twist to the right, growing taller as you do so. And center. Twist the other way. And you're doing a really good job here, Jordan, of keeping your hips nice and square even as you're twisting. It'd be really easy for you to get a wider range of motion here if you took your hips with you, but we would then be disengaging your upper powerhouse, your core, which isn't by itself a bad thing, but not what we're going for here. We want to isolate your stomach stability and core muscles.
It's really interesting as I've talked to Grant about the differences of how we work out, and it feels like we're doing less because we're not doing that like full like twist. We're actually like way more strong and like realizing the results faster.
Yeah, I mean, it's really this concept of not doing too much. We really have this idea in our traditional workouts, all the way from like when you're in middle school taking PE class, that you give 110% and more and more and more. And the reality is the work is happening so far before that happens, and we're just going right past it. We're kind of missing all the good stuff in the middle. Okay, we're now going to add onto this by adding in your standing saw. So you're going to twist and then articulate down, touch your opposite foot with hand. Good, and roll back up. Okay, now on this next one, I want you to start the articulation from the top of your head, chin to the chest. Good, and now swing that arm across, really nice. And then reverse that head is the last thing. And again. And the reason why we're doing this rounded articulation starting from the head is that it naturally gets the stomach to engage more quickly than if we were to just do a flat back and go forward. Now, you certainly could do a flat back here, but the range of motion is going to be smaller and you're going to have to be much more careful about the movement because it's a lot easier for the stomach to get overloaded and for your back muscles to turn on. The vast majority of back pain that people feel is really just because their stomach is being overloaded and not doing the work. Good. Make yourself even and stand tall in the center, keeping the legs wide. So now put your hands onto your hips, tall posture, have that feeling of your lifted collarbones. And then you're going to side lunge and drive the knee over your big toe. Good. And then strain that leg. Okay. And again, same side, try and really keep your hips square to me. So it's going at, yep, that's exactly it. And then strain back up. So again, this is absolutely the sort of movement where if you wanted to, you could make this range of motion way bigger and really lunge forward. Of course, what would happen is you would start to really pike forward, your hips would get out of alignment, and all of a sudden, this really beautiful hip opening exercise that we have and glute exercise just kind of falls apart. We wouldn't be targeting those very specific parts of your body anymore. Good. One more, and then you're going to go to the other side. Good. Thinking of that right hip pulling back. That's it. 3 more. Good. Side lunge to the first side. Hold. You're now going to bend the second leg to drop your tailbone right through your center. Strain the first leg. Strain the second leg.
This is always so
Reverse.
funny.
Yeah. And so you're doing a really good job keeping tall posture throughout this, because at the end of the day, yes, this is a hip exercise. It's a leg exercise. It's really more than anything a posture exercise. You're having to use your stomach to keep yourself lifted and not round forward.
I have you and Hannah's voice now in the back of my head anytime I do any sort of movement. And like moving all that dirt from my garden. Remember how I told you we're moving
Oh,
like
yeah.
100 pounds of dirt? Not one single injury.
Oh, my gosh. And that's what it's all about. It's not this idea of we're training to get just super big and strong. Although sometimes we have clients like Grant, for instance, his goal was to, well, I want to be able to go to the gym and lift stronger and heavier and get, move in that direction. But for most people, they come to us because they want to live their lives pain free and be able to just go out and live their day to day lives doing the things that they enjoy doing and not having to wonder of like, oh gosh, am I going to hurt myself? Am I going to spend my weekend gardening on this beautiful day and my back's going to give out because I'm hunched forward? And that's what it's all about. That's what movement should be, is whatever your life is, you should be able to live it. Okay, let's now come down to the floor. I'm going to have you start by sitting. You can turn 90 degrees, so I'll see your side profile here. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Good. And reach your arms forward at shoulder height. Pull the stomach in and show me a nice, gentle capital C curve of your spine. Chin to the chest. Good. And now come back up to your tall sitting posture. Okay. Now in this next one, when you C curve, rather than having the C curve pull you back in space, I want the C curve to round you forward closer to your thighs. Yes. And that's automatically going to get you into your core before we begin this movement. Hold that. And now start to articulate backwards as if you were going to lie down flat on the mat. And just go for this first one to the point that you feel your stomach turn on, and then come back up. Because again, we're not necessarily going for the biggest, deepest burn here. Just go to the point that you feel the stomach turn on. Because that work right there, that's where 90% of strengthening actually comes from, is finding the engagement and then coming up out of it and challenging that repeatedly. And you never want to get to the point that you feel like you can't do anymore, that you're going to collapse out of the movement. You want to go to about 80 to 85% exertion level, that you have just one or two more really good formed repetitions inside of you. Good. And now start to articulate back even a little bit farther. Go as far back as you can while still being able to come back up. Really nice. The farther back you go, the more I want you to think of pressing your big toes into the mat to counterbalance you. Push through the feet, push through your tailbone, and rounding forward. Okay, now let's take your legs straight. Good. Squeeze those legs together and let that squeeze be the spark plug as you start to round back. Good. And round forward. Let's lift your hands a little bit higher. Good. And now reach up and over your toes as you round. Good. And I really like how you're naturally bending the knees as you need to help open up your back and release tension from your hips, and then straightening them again as you go back, tailoring it for how your body feels and what your natural flexibility is. Good. And on this next one, let's go all the way down with control until the head touches the mat. Big breath in as you reach your arms overhead. Nice big stretch. You can imagine if I were there in person, I'd be gently pulling on your fingertips. I'd be coming around, I'd be pulling on your toes, giving you a big two-way stretch. Stitch your ribs together, pull the stomach in, exhale to press the arms up and down to the hips.
Oh, wait, all the way? Or I'm
Oh,
confused.
let's go into that actually. Now that you showed me that you're warmed up and ready to do the roll up, let's do that. So one big wave-like motion. You told on yourself, Jordan.
I did.
And roll up and over. Okay, so now on the next one, try and make that as smooth as you can. No big burst to come up. That's okay. Pull the stomach in, up, and rolling down. So do you feel that how your knees are wanting to naturally kind of bend and cock back? Let that happen. Your feet may even lift up into the air. That's all right. Let whatever happens happen. Yeah, and then strain them back out as needed. Because right now, it'd be very easy to say, I'm looking at your entire body right now, and everything must be perfect. But really, I'm looking at everything from your waist up, as if your bottom half doesn't even exist. I'm just looking to see what's your core engagement and what's your spine look like. Yeah. Okay, so now on this next one, because that looks so good, just think of your shoulders, keeping them a little more relaxed. Let that tension up here come down into your core. Yes, that was your best one yet. Let's do one more. Yeah.
Almost.
But see, that's not cheating. Using your legs to kind of help pull you up and forward isn't cheating if it helps you keep good form. I would much rather that than just kind of using your momentum to throw yourself at it. So let's actually do that one more time. If you use your legs, that's fine. If you don't, also fine. Big breath, and then exhale, up and over. Yeah, exactly. And now down to the floor with control, knees to the chest. Just scoot yourself a little bit farther forward so your head's fully on the mat. Good. We're going to go into your 100. So chin to the chest, look into the belly button, scoop the stomach. You're going to reach your legs up to the sky, hands past the hips. Good. Point those toes. And start pumping up and down. And I want you to kind of have a higher pump with your arms. Have the top end be right at your knee level here, because that's going to really get your AC joint going. It's going to really activate your traps as well, and kind of your wing muscles in your upper back. As you breathe in and exhale all your air. This exercise is all about circulating fresh oxygen and blood throughout the entire body with breath and a constant pump of the arm to warm up the entire body in a nice, efficient, quick manner. Good. Try and keep that head as still as possible. Your little pigtail back there not moving at all. Just the arms are moving. Yeah. Let's do 2 more deep breaths. Good. Just gently rock from side to side. Release any tension in the body. Good.
It's my favorite move.
I know, it's the best exercise. When you're ready, let's go into your single leg circles. One leg straight out onto the mat, other leg up towards the sky. Good. Gently externally rotate your hip open first, actually, before you begin the movement. So your knee is going to rotate out away from yourself. That's going to help get into your hip abductor. And then you'll circle around 5 times each way. And you're doing a really good job of stabilizing the rest of the body, so it's just the leg moving. There's no hip movement, no rocking from side to side. Good. And then switching sides. Externally rotate that hip 5 times each way. And in one smooth motion, come back up to sitting for rolling like a ball. You're going to come a little bit farther forward onto your mat so you have a full runway behind you. Gentle capital C curve of the spine. Again, rounding forward, not backwards. So if you were up against a wall, you wouldn't be putting pressure into that wall. Good. And now you're going to balance just on your sits bones, feet floating in the air. Good. And are you able to bring your heels in towards your tailbone just a little bit more and take your knees a little bit wider? Yeah. Okay, now imagine that there's a bunch of balloons tethered to each shoulder to help just kind of make you a little more buoyant. Maybe your ribs start to pick up off of your waist. You just get a little lighter. Take a big deep breath in. And a gentle exhale out. And just trying to make yourself as light as possible, as if you could just float off into the atmosphere. On this next one, you'll inhale to roll back to your shoulders. Powerful exhale to roll up and balance. Really nice. That one was perfect, Jordan. 3 more. And hold at the top. Really nice. Bring your right knee into your chest, both hands on it. Left leg is going to reach out straight. And with control, articulate down to the floor, chin to the chest, still for single leg stretch. So you're going to round back to lie flat on your back. Good. Lift that left leg up into the air until you feel your stomach really turn on. Lift the head to look into your navel. And now pull, switch. Yeah. Good. And now hold. That leg that's straight, start to lower it down until you really feel your stomach drop in. Good. Point that foot. Try and pin a coin to a wall with your big toe. And then switch. Hit that same spot on the wall with the other foot. And switch. Switch and switch and switch and switch and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both knees into the chest, double leg stretch. You're going to inhale out with the arms and the legs, circle around to swim in.
Oh, wait, like. Okay.
But let's lift the head for this one to really get the stomach to turn on.
I am not coordinated.
That's okay. Keep the legs squeezed together. Circle around. Yep, only difference is I'm going to have you keep your legs squeezed together so they won't open. That's it. So you're keeping that spark plug of energy through that squeeze. The centerline connection is what we call it. One more. Big breath. And exhale around. Rest the head. Rock from side to side. We'll go into your single straight leg stretch. That's the one where you scissor your legs.
Wait,
chin to the chest. Hands behind your lifted leg. Good. Now lift the other leg that's on the floor until you feel your stomach drop in. Good. And now scissor to switch, catching the other leg as it lifts. Switch. 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 Hold. Because you're flexible enough to do it, grab up higher towards your calf until you have straight arms and give a gentle pull on that leg to deepen the stretch, and then switch. That's it. Switch. 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 Make yourself even, and then lift both legs up to the sky, hands behind the head for double straight leg stretch. Wide elbows, holding the weight of your head in your hands, and then lower both legs. Lift. You're just going until you feel the stomach really working, and then you lift up out of the work. 3 more. Lengthening the body as you lower. And you're going to finish with the crisscross. Twisting to the right.
Wait, what?
So you're going to
Oh.
opposite elbow to knee touch. So bend one knee deeply in to touch your elbows. You crisscross. There you go.
Okay. Now I know what we're
The
doing.
other way. Good. And I want your gaze as you twist to look behind that back elbow. Yeah, and that just helps to naturally lengthen your spine out as you twist. Good. And rest. Knees to the chest. Rock from side to side. And let's come up to sitting now for spine stretch forward. Do you have your magic circle by chance nearby, Jordan? If not, totally okay.
I might. Grant might have stole it.
Can't be mad at him for that.
All right, I found it.
Perfect. All right, so for everyone, this is a magic circle. It really is magic. And this is an apparatus. And the thing about apparatus is that it is a tool that we use to help us find the strength we already have in our body. It just helps us feel things more easily. It's not a way to do the work for us or just artificially make it harder. It's there to actually, in a way, make it easier for us to do the work so that eventually we can get rid of the magic circle and you can do the same quality of work with or without it. Doesn't matter. So we're going to do spine stretch forward, and we're going to try it a couple of different ways with the circle, and then we're going to do it without the circle. And I want you to see if you can find the same muscle activation all 3 times. So let's start with your legs wide, tall, flat back posture. You can have the knees ever so slightly bent. Yep, and you feel how that just helps pull your posture up and forward. Good. So let's start reaching forward, shoulder height, and just have a very gentle squeeze on that circle already. Good. And now, chin to the chest, 1 vertebrae at a time. Start to peel forward as you dive the crown of your head through that circle as you round forward. Good. Scooping the stomach. And then rolling back up 1 vertebrae at a time. Head is the very last thing. And again, this time I want you to imagine I'm pulling you straight forward by the fingertips. So instead of your arms lowering, they're going to stay parallel to the floor and you're being pulled forward. Yes. And then rolling back up. And that's just going to help keep your armpit muscles and your traps more active here. It's also giving you more room for your head to navigate. Good. Squeeze and reach forward. One more. And very nice. Okay. Now you're going to take the circle, turn it 90 degrees so one of the pads is on the floor. Yep. And both hands stacked on top of the other on the circle. Okay. So now just show me good tall posture. Gaze is forward, looking out at the horizon. And before we do the spine stretch forward part, all you're going to do is press straight down on the circle to pick your posture up, grow taller. So you press down to go up, as if the crown of your head could touch the ceiling. And then, without losing that height, release the circle. Good. Press down to grow tall. Release. Down. Release. And what muscles do you feel working here, Jordan? Perfect. Really nice. Press and hold. And now chin to the chest, start to round forward, and the circle is going to start to tilt forward. You're only going to go as far forward as you can keep the tension and control of that circle so it doesn't slip out. And then roll back up. Tall. Release. And again, press down and round forward. And do you see the natural trajectory that this kind of locks your arms into as well as you come forward? That's just slightly higher aim. Good. And release. Okay. I lied. We're now going to actually go back to the first version because I want you to do it again. But see if you can find that same activation in those traps and that same arm box angle as you round forward. One more. That's looking really good, Jordan. Good. Circle to the side. Now do it without circle. See if you can find that same activation, holding the weight of your own arms with the traps and your wing muscles. Good. And your tall posture is now just starting to press back into that imaginary wall behind you a little bit. Be just up against it. Good adjustment. One more. And relax. Really good work. Shake it out. It's kind of a lot to be doing, holding. Good. And now let's come onto your stomach.
Well, this is my favorite one.
Yes. So we're just going to start with about a minute here of you just laying totally flat. And this may seem like an odd thing to do in the middle of a workout, but just do nothing. You're just going to breathe and purposely try to relax the entire body. So for Jordan, who has a long history of sciatica and back pain, this is kind of one of those magical tricks that we do with her every session that just allows her back to release. And this in general is a really good pose for almost anyone that has low back pain, is just spend some time lying on your stomach. A couple of ways you can adjust this is you can, Jordan, and you can show them this, take your hands, place them underneath your hips just to elevate your hips a little bit more. Or you can also take a pillow, a thin pillow, a blanket, something, a towel folded up to place under your hips as well to help elevate. And that's just going to help relax everything. I'm going to have you do 3 more deep breaths in here. Then turn your head the other way just to make sure you're even. You're not holding any tension asymmetrically in the neck.
I find myself doing this at night after work when we're like sitting on the couch watching TV. I'll like go lay on the floor.
And that's such a good thing to do. You know, I love this idea of being able to have relaxation and downtime while still being mindful of the way we hold ourselves. You know, it's not this idea that we have to be perfect and robotic and tall, statuesque posture at all times, because obviously we're human and that's not how our body is designed to do. But being mindful of not just melting either when we have downtime. It's why I don't really like beanbag chairs and like lazy boy recliners and stuff. They kind of make good posture impossible. Good. All right, and now forehead on the mat. Just very gently press back onto your heels into a rounded child's pose position. Just want to round your spine for a moment before you pop back out onto your stomach. And we're going to do the neck roll. So you'll start flat on your stomach, forehead on the mat, hands underneath the shoulders, elbows tucked into the ribs. Good. Good. And I want you to, can you get your elbows fully down on the mat? It might mean your hands come forward. Yep, perfect. All right, so I want you just to start by pressing your shoelaces down into the mat, as if you could sink down into the earth. And through that downward press of the lower body, like a teeter-totter, start to peel and lift your upper body up from the mat, lengthening yourself. So the hands are helping to pull and lengthen you forward. And then lengthen back down. Let's just do that a couple of times. And you can lift your gaze a little bit more at the top end here. Yeah. Heel, lift, and hold. Pressing through the hands. Maybe your collarbones lift up just a little bit more. Yeah. And now neck roll. Turn your head to look over your right shoulder. Down across to the left shoulder. And center. Reverse. 2 times each way. Nice, smooth half moons of the neck and head. Doing a great job of stabilizing the rest of your body as you do this movement. Still pressing through the feet, trying to lift those collarbones, press through the hands. Yep. And then lower back down. Forehead touches. In one smooth motion, press back to straighten the arms and sit back on your heels. Really nice. So anytime we do a back extension of any kind, no matter how small it may be, we just always want to finish with a rounded position to kind of get the spine to realign in its natural shape. Okay, let's now go into your side kicks.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay.
All right. So can you take your elbow that's behind your head and just place it a little bit farther back? There you go. So now it's fully in line with your spine. So it's a direct line from your elbow all the way through, down your spine to your tailbone in one line. Perfect. Now heels together, toes apart. Yes, really good lift of that lower leg as well. So it's active. Now just lift your top leg 1 more inch. Good. And as if there were a porcelain teacup balanced on your ankle, keep it balanced there. Don't let it fall. Glide the leg forward until you feel a gentle stretch.
You started forward, I started backwards.
Potato, potato. We're going to go back anyway. Good. Really great job keeping the hips and the shoulders nice and stable. No rocking back and forth. You're staying in good alignment here.
I've been working on this one.
Yeah, I can really tell. It looks fantastic, Jordan. And where are you feeling the work primarily?
Right here.
Perfect. And so that's what that very gentle turnout of the hip and the knee is doing. Is it's just taking the work that would normally be in your hip flexor and low back, and it's just taking it into the hip abductor and your glute instead. The core is turned on to stabilize the rest of the body. Let's do one more. And then you'll come center and point the foot up to the sky. Flex the foot, pull the heel down. Point up, flex down. God, that lower leg's doing a great job of staying active to help push everything up. One more. Circles, 5 each way, nice and controlled, carving out an equal amount behind and in front of the body. Good. Let's go into your leg bridge. So you're going to bend that top leg, foot planted into the mat, knee lifts. Good. So now plant the foot into the ground. And you're going to grab your ankle with your hand. Yeah, and let's grab it from behind. So it'll actually become you're grabbing your Achilles. Perfect. Can you get your foot fully flat?
No.
That's okay. So show me what gives you the most kind of push and stability, and try and, now open that hip away from you. So this idea of trying to push your hip as open and away as you can. Good. Tall posture, stomach is in. And now your other leg, point the foot, try and get it as long as you can. Try and touch the wall away from you as you lengthen and lift it into the air. The straight leg on the floor.
Oh.
You're going to keep that foot open and planted. And lower back down. Okay. So, really good. I want you to make, this exercise about that hip. I actually don't care about the lifting leg at all. I care about you keeping that hip open as that leg lifts. So you're challenging your hip flexibility here, right? This is a Great way to help open and strengthen our hips. So grab that ankle again, keep that knee vertical. And now the straight leg on the floor lengthens and lifts. I don't want that knee to fall in towards your face. Yeah. All right, so it's this idea that strength and flexibility are not dueling forces, but they're kind of two sides of the same coin. They're on opposite ends of the spectrum, and one cannot really exist without the other. If you were only just strong with no flexibility, you would be horribly imbalanced and you wouldn't be able to live your life, and vice versa. If you were flexible but with no strength, you would just be kind of like a wet noodle navigating this world. So we want to get as close as we can to that perfect balanced middle point. And this exercise is a great example of that. We're challenging your hip flexibility by strengthening and lifting that bottom leg. Lift and hold. Circle 3 each way. How big of a circle can you make, keeping that hip open? Really nice. Take the leg straight. You're going to go back onto your stomach, hands underneath the forehead, resting flat on the mat as a pillow. Squeeze the legs together. Lengthen, reach, and lift your legs into the air so your thighs are going to float. Good. Keep them floating as you open and close to clap the heels together 20 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold and lengthen back down. So just a quick centering exercise before you go on to your second side of Sidekicks.
Okay.
Good. Elbow in alignment. Really nice. Heels together, toes apart. 2 active legs. Full body commitment. Top leg lifts a little. Balance that teacup as you glide forward and glide back.
I realize as we're doing this, if people are doing the workout, they might not be able to leave comments. So if you're watching this and doing the workout, or you're watching this on the replay, leave a comment and I will make sure to ask my trainer and answer it later. Or you can go over to their YouTube channel and ask them questions.
Absolutely. We have an entire YouTube channel where we post workouts, movement tips, and all of that. Follow along the workouts in the same audio somatic style. So it's with me or one of our other instructors watching a body, reacting to what we see, and giving adjustments and insight based off of that. So it's not a follow along, I'm doing the workout and you're watching me doing it and you're copying me, because that'd be insane. We have 2 very different bodies and our bodies need different things. This is truly, I am seeing Jordan's body, not just in a general sense, but what does her body need today at this very moment? Because it can vary from day to day, week to week, depending on how she feels. We're not cookie cutter in that way. And this then allows us to work. You can go into the next one, point up and flex down. This allows us to work in a really naturalistic way as well. That, let's say Jordan comes down with a really bad cold. One, because we work virtually, she can still do her workout because she doesn't have to come to a studio where she might get anyone else sick. She can be in the comfort of her own home and do the workout no matter how she's feeling. But it also means I can give her a workout that's completely tailored to how she's feeling. I'm not going to give her some insane workout when she's not feeling well. I'm going to give her a restorative workout so that she feels energized and better and has a faster recovery. And that's kind of the beauty of this tailored style of training. One more into your circles. Awesome. Leg bridge.
Okay.
This is a good one. Try and grab the back of your ankle if you can. Yeah. Good. Keep that hip open as you lengthen, reach, and lift the bottom leg. And lower down. Good job on that nice controlled lower. Not letting the leg collapse, but you're controlling the fall. Lift and hold. Circle, 3 each way.
It's definitely easier on this side than it is on the other side.
And in general, do you find that holds true as this one side feels more controlled, stronger for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
This
that's
is
a
the
really common thing.
side that I like feel it's achy, but this is the side that's tight.
Yep. Yep. And that's a really common thing for a lot of people is they're naturally going to have one stronger side, and it doesn't always work in a super linear way either, because sometimes our bodies work in a diagonal. So sometimes this hand is stronger and then this leg is stronger as well. It's not always a one-to-one thing. Okay, let's now go into all fours. We're going to do some push-up strength training without actually doing a push-up just yet. All right, so let's curl your toes underneath. Good, so you are on the pads of all 10 toes. Okay, so now imagine if I were to have placed a 2x4 plank of wood on your back, I want you to try and lift each part of your spine from head to tailbone to be in contact with that plank. No dips anywhere. Yeah, and did you feel how naturally your low back in particular kind of lifted when I said that?
Yeah.
Good. So now tying a giant WWE championship belt around your waist to just kind of cinch everything in. Good. Gently rotate the backs of your arms so you're squeezing 2 tennis balls you're holding between your armpits. Imagine if you had a yoga block or a magic circle between your forearms that you were holding in place and squeezing. Hold that yoga block or magic circle between your thighs and hold one between your heels so you have tension throughout the entire body. And now you're just going to push the floor away with the hands and the feet. Maybe your knees lift like they are. Good. Keep that 2x4 pressed against each vertebrae. Yes. Hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and control coming down. Sit back on the heels, round the spine, forehead flat. So good, Jordan. That's actually looking so much stronger from the last time we did that about a month ago. How's that feeling?
It feels like it's a lot to focus on.
It is a lot to focus on because it's the full body working together as one unit. In fact, I'm asking you to do a million things at the same time perfectly, and you're doing it. It's pretty impressive. Okay, so let's now challenge that. Find all of that again, the wrestling belt, the plank of wood, the yoga blocks you're squeezing. And now just take one leg straight out, toes still on the floor, so you're in a half push-up plank position. Good, still pushing the floor away. Now that second knee can just float up into the air. Yes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down with control. Let's switch sides. Can rest in between if you need to. Find all of the engagement first. All 10 toes pressing into the floor. Yes. And push up. So right, the name says it all. Push-ups aren't about lowering down to the floor. It's about pushing up.
Oh gosh.
Very nice. Okay, give yourself a moment, shake out. And now I want you to come into a full push-up plank position. And stay here for as long as feels strong, secure. Don't let anything dip. Find that 2x4 plank of wood. And when you know you need to come out of it, just do it with control. So save just a little bit of juice to come out of the movement safely. That's so much of what we do here is not overextending, overcooking you, but making sure you have enough kind of reserved strength to be able to come in and out of a movement safely. Because that's where most injuries happen during workouts, is when you're entering or exiting an exercise that you're not strong enough or prepared to do. Really nice. Okay, let's now finish today coming to standing.
I was going to say, I think that's the biggest takeaway that I've gotten out of training with you and Hannah. It's now I go to workout classes and I know how to listen to what they're telling me to do and adapt it to what I need to do. So I'm not hurting myself in a Pilates class or a yoga class that I would always do.
Absolutely. It's, again, the body is not a cookie cutter format. Everyone should not be doing the same thing. Hannah is a trained ballerina. I am a trained wrestler. We come from very two different ends of the spectrum of athletics. What works for her is not going to work for me, vice versa. And it's certainly not going to work for you or any of the other people watching this stream right now. It's being able to find what your body needs and have the tools in your belt to modify your movement for not just yourself, but yourself on that current given day with how you're feeling. So heels together, toes apart, tall posture. And we're just going to finish with another centering exercise. Arm circles, just lifting up, keeping your back up against that invisible wall. So how high can you take those arms? And then circling around to press and lift the posture tall. I always like to envision kind of a wine cork being popped up out of the bottle as you're doing this. Pop the wine cork out as you circle around. One more. Big breath in. And exhale down, reverse. 3 more.
I think it would be wildly entertaining for Hannah to teach you and Grant how to do ballet, though.
Oh my God, that was our very first date. I did ballet class, and it was deeply embarrassing for me. I hold that shame with me all these years later. All right, you are all done for today, Jordan.
Thank you so much.
Amazing work. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling ready to go back to work and not collapse into my chair.
Perfect. That's what it is all about, re-energizing you and not draining you. Enjoy the rest of your week, Jordan. I will see you next week. Take care.
Everyone.
I hope everyone enjoyed this.
Yes.
Next time.
And definitely leave comments if you're watching this on the replay or you do this workout. Leave some comments about how this impacted you, how you liked it, and if anything that you learned here today is going to change how you work out in the future.
Yep, and I will try and get those, see those questions and answer them all for you.
Awesome.
All right, take care.
Bye. Bye.